back again for another live chat with one of the 8 fabulous women who are part of my Real Women, Real Lives, Real Wisdom series. This series is really growing legs, shall we say. It started out as a real kind of realization one Sunday morning, actually, over breakfast, that I'd been chatting with my sister, and I've been chatting sort of over the internet, really, with a couple of friends. And we were just really saying, God, how annoying it is that there's other women out there saying, I've got my life perfectly handled at the moment, and us just thinking, oh my God, I so haven't got my life handled. And it really made me realise yet again that as women, we're kind of built for collaboration and doing things together as part of a team, and helping each other out. And actually at the moment, particularly this year, that I'm sensing, and I felt it myself actually, I'm sensing that a lot of women are looking to their normal support works, whether it's colleagues or friends or sisters or whoever that is, and thinking, oh, I don't want to burden them with how I'm feeling, or actually she seems to be coping a lot better than me, and it'd be a bit embarrassing if I admitted that actually I'm not coping, where actually so many of us are feeling like that at the moment. And certainly in my own experience, and in each of these fabulous women that I'm collaborating with in this project, we have felt like that in the past, and yet one little thing helped kind of inspire us into changing the course of how we live our everyday life and to feeling happier. So that's my intention for this series. It's to kind of harness the wisdom from these 8 women through a really inspirational quote that has helped them to pay it forward, really, and pass on that wisdom to others. So without further ado, I'm delighted to be able to introduce you to someone who has really been more inspirational to me than she actually realizes, I think. Jacqueline Mcgill. Jack, hello, my lovely.
Oh, hello, Gillian. Thank you for having me.
Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yes, my name's Jacqueline, Jack for short. I'm a mum, a teacher, a children's growth mindset author, and a former client of Gillian's. She is my coach, and Gillian has inspired me as well. And would you like me to explain my quote just now?
Yeah, do. I can't wait for you to share your quote, because it's a really good, really special one.
So Gillian asked, obviously, for this project, if I had a quote that I kind of go back to, and that keeps inspiring me. And it's actually from it's a line in a poem by Linda Ellis, and it's what you do with the dash that counts. And it's that idea of on your gravestone, a bit morbid, but never mind. You've got the day you're born, and then the day you die, and that little dash, that one little line, is just there, and it sums up everything else about you, everything else you've done, the legacy you've left behind. And when you think about that, it's a case of making that little dash count every single day and making it matter. So, before I worked with Gillian, my number one value in life was to serve other people, which I've come a long way since then, thank goodness. But having that kind of a high kind of mothering instinct, my go-to place is always to help other people and support other people, and that's very honourable and great, but also what that does leave you is kind of like washed out and exhausted and not much fun. So for me, it's now about finding the balance. So sometimes that little dash means, yes, coming out my comfort zone, doing something that's really scary, but it's also about saying, this matters to me today, to rest and to do something that replenishes my energy before I start giving my energy away to other people. So I think that's where, especially if something comes up that makes me feel a little bit scared to do things, I think, think about the dash. What is it you want people to remember you for, or the legacy that you're leaving behind? And also just it's to have fun. It's to enjoy life. Who knows how long that little dash is going to be for? So it is about making it matter in the moment and enjoying even now, rather than always worrying about what other people might think, or should you be doing this? For example, my house is a bit of a riot at the moment, and old me might have been spending hours cleaning that, whereas new version of me, version Jack 1.2, is going to just wait till everyone's ready in the family tonight, and we're going to, you know, have a Operation Clean Sweep later on, and everyone's going to join in. So I think it's about, because I've got other things I wanted to do with my time today, and that's okay, and I'm all right with that. But I don't get it right every day. And I think that's what you're kind of like hinting at when you're seeing people and you think, oh my goodness, they've got it all together. Absolutely not. I mean, there's been a couple of times just recently I realised I've given far too much of my energy away. And I suppose what the difference is now is it's about not going too far down the rabbit hole. It's about recognising that and actually get yourself back to okay much quicker. So
yeah. Do you know, I'm nodding and absolute resonating with what you're saying, Jack, because yes, I speak all of this stuff, and you know, as you've said, you know, I help people, you know, live happy now as well as live happy in the future. But you know, I'm not immune to it. I still have times, quite regularly this year particularly, but I still have times when I'm just like, what is going on with me? What am I doing? You know, I'm procrastinating, I can't move on, I'm shouting at everyone, I'm, you know, those horrible kind of traits that particularly have us women going, oh, I'm being a horrible person, and you know, then you get all of the uncomfortable guilt feelings and stuff. I still have those, absolutely, and we all do. We're all human. But as you've said, the kind of key thing to hold on to is we are human, but actually having some fun, prioritizing having some fun, and prioritizing kind of filling up our own bucket, and learning what kind of, you know, what replenishes us. And really thinking about that dash, which is why I love your quote so much, is what matters. You know, everything else will fall into place. And giving yourself permission to live the dash and, you know, not do everything else around it is just such amazing wisdom, Jack, to pass on to everyone else. And particularly, like you say, that you've learned that for yourself, haven't you?
absolutely, absolutely. And kind of going along with that, I really like the one, you know, it says you only die once, but you live every day. You know, because I do think it's that kind of idea of it's not living every single day like to maximum speed.
No,
and, you know,
not Superwoman.
Not Superwoman, absolutely not. But it's about finding the joy in the day and finding, like, slowing down, spending a little bit of extra time with your children or your partner or your family. You know, we maybe aren't as well connected at the moment, so making use of technology, staying in touch with people, just, you know, maybe sending a little message, just checking in on each other is really important. And it doesn't take up much of your time, but it means a lot to the person receiving it as well. And when it's reciprocated, when someone does that for you, it does make you feel special and that you matter. And I think that's what's important.
Do you know, one of the things that really inspires me about you, Jack, is that you have this very calm, very courageous way of just taking the action that's needed. I know perhaps you will say that you haven't always been that way, but you have this you're very committed to what you now see as your kind of purpose. And I absolutely know, and I just thought we'd just maybe talk about this for a moment, but you know, the way that you are role modeling everything that you've just said and all the wisdom you're passing on to other women, but the way that you're role modeling that, not just in your own kind of life roles, but through your work now, being, you know, children's author and supporting families or children and their families to find their emotional, you know, well-being and set them up for, you know, positive emotional experiences through their life. It's just, you know, and I think, I know you'll say a bit about that in a moment, but as women, you know, we have to think, you know, we're not just, you know, taking time for ourselves and finding ourselves again and finding a life, you know, creating a life that allows us to be us and starting our life, if you like, from that point is not only good for us, but it actually ripples out to our children, to our families. It actually influences those people around us as well. And that's kind of what I find inspirational about you, because you're doing that through your work and you're helping children to learn those that way of living as well.
Yeah, so like the business you're referring to is Pursuit of Wisdom Coaching that I run with my twin sister actually. And I feel very blessed that because I love writing stories, I always have, always will, and that I'm actually able to incorporate that now into the business because we write, it's in like modern day Aesop's fables, but traditional like transformational tales where you're actually kind of taking maybe a tricky topic like limiting beliefs or negative self-talk or just wanting to create empathy and putting it into a story that children can relate to. And it's not, you know, kind of really serious storylines. There's just some quite simple things that children do every single day. As a teacher, obviously I've been teaching for over 20 years now, you do get this sense of parents just feeling very overwhelmed. They see their children in pain and they don't know exactly what to say to help them. And it's usually the mums that feel that they should know what to do. But if they've never experienced that themselves, then they don't have a natural model to follow. So the books that we've written open that doorway to the conversations. Sometimes you want to reach your child, but it creates that bridge between where your child's in pain and where you could actually support them. And then we have the workbooks that go along with that, which allow parents to actually have the tools to coach their own children. So it was really important to us because my sister's a paediatric occupational therapist as well, and she could see parents struggling. And that's what we kept saying, you know, if we could, if you just sort of impart this knowledge when the children are younger, you know, to know at the age of 7 what your comfort zone is and why you're feeling like you want to just like, you know, throw up and run away when you're being asked to do your book review is just because you're in fight or flight or freeze, and actually being able to like talk yourself around into that and actually think, oh, I can do these steps to get myself to okay again and carry on with my life would be a wonderful legacy to leave behind. I would be incredibly proud of that legacy.
I just and you've had to invest in yourself so that you can then have this be the inspiration for other people, and that's why you're like such a role model for, you know, investing in yourself means you can inspire others around you, particularly in the way that you are now.
Yeah, because for years, like I've thought about being an author and not thinking maybe that I would be enough. When in actual fact, you know, I've got like 5
Yay
now. There's like, you know, and that this makes me feel really proud now that these are available and being doing good. They're helping families who didn't know what to do, but reading a story with your child is just a very natural activity to do. And the workbook's just full of like fun games and activities, drawing, writing, however they want to get involved. There's games and making things to do. So it just involves you know, and it's not a case of like, for example, like the book The Worry, it teaches children how to cope with worry, that worry is normal. It doesn't mean it's bad or it's wrong. It's actually how to cope with it and how to get onto the other side of it. So that could be for any worry that crops up. And the good news is that these techniques work really well for adults too. So quite often when, you know, we've run workshops or you know, done one-to-ones, the parents have got as much out of it as the children, and it's helped everybody, because I think when mum and dad feel strong and confident, it makes the children feel strong and confident. And actually quite often the children are giving you little pearls of wisdom that, you know, that they are experiencing. They kind of are much more accepting of it. They don't have all the baggage that adults sometimes bring with
maybe
them.
Maybe that's part of, you know, living the dash, isn't it? It's actually looking to our children, or looking, you know, to children if we don't have children of our own, and really just thinking, well, gosh, you know, they don't have any of this baggage. They're living the dash now. How can I kind of be more like them?
Exactly. So really just equipping mums, dads, teachers with the tools that they need so that they could coach their own children in the comfort of your own home, and that you could keep referring back to, because children love hearing stories over and over again.
Yeah, they do.
So it's
and all coming from you arriving at a space and finding that wisdom that triggered you into taking the action to kind of be on this life path that you're now in, you know, living your purpose. And, you know, so how would you distill your kind of, you know, your kind of learning from your own journey into those kind of couple of pearls of wisdom, so to speak, to other women watching this now?
Well, I was thinking about this. So one of the key things that I took from like that kind of idea of living your dash is to think of my own energy as a bucket. So it is actually to me like a physical bucket of water, and it only has so much inside of it. And I've got to understand that when that gets empty, it's me that's empty. And you can't pour from an empty cup.
That's my phrase, by the way.
Oh, is it?
No, it's not my. I don't mean that's not my phrase. I didn't invent it. But if I chose a quote for this series,
yeah, you would choose that. Yeah. So it's that idea of actually sometimes guarding your energy a little bit. Don't just kind of like dip into it for anyone, but also make sure you spend time replenishing it. Do things that bring you joy, even if, you know, for me, it's sometimes just like going for a walk with the dogs in the forest. Sometimes it's I've got quite into my needle felting, or reading a book, or just having a cup of tea while sitting outside. Just something that actually makes me feel joy, and that I'm, you know, replenishing me. Another little thing is that I have found challenging, but I am better at now, is to ask for help, because you are never alone, not really. And it is highly likely that the lovely ladies listening to this, you will have been someone who's supporting lots of other people. And actually, I've realized that by asking for help, I'm actually able to let other people help me, which is kind of like a gift in return, because they're desperate too. Most people are, but you think to yourself, oh, I better not say anything to them because, you know, they look like they've kind of got a, but actually just sharing a problem, sharing your worry with somebody else. One of our books is about that, and it's about inviting your worry to tea. So it's actually like inviting it round and having a chat with maybe your gran or your mum or your sister or your friend, and it does just help it shrink down. So I think those things, guarding your energy as a resource, there's only so much of it.
Yeah.
But also making sure that you are living your dash and making at least one moment a day really matter to you.
Jack, that is such a wonderful place to kind of, you know, conclude your wisdom, really. It's just, yeah, living your dash at least once a day. I love that. That really means something to me as well. Thank you for sharing that.
You're very welcome.
And just, we will put your business details below this video when I release this video. So you'll be able to find, if you're watching this video, you'll be able to have some direct link into Jack and Lorna, her sister, into the work that they do, and all of the resources that Jack has shared today. Really, really worth exploring those. And just, if this is the first video you've caught in this series, there are 7 other beautiful women sharing their life wisdom, pearls of wisdom in these funny old times that we're still in, and helping you to kind of take that courageous action out of wherever you are now, whether that's feeling stuck, whether that's feeling overwhelmed, whether it's feeling just completely pressured with everything that's coming at you. There is a way to feel lighter, and there is a way to feel that you have got control over what's happening to you. And these little pearls of wisdom that these women are sharing are to give you hope and to inspire you that actually, if we've done it, Jack's done it, you know, she's found a way through, and comes back to, you know, the resources that she has created for herself to help her through tricky times. I've done it, the other 8 women in this series have done it, all from a moment of inspiration that actually we've probably been inspired by another woman somewhere along the lines in our life. So we're paying it forward to anyone watching this now. I will be personally illustrating. I'm using my creative talents, like merging all my gifts into one pot here, because it replenishes me to do these things. But I will be illustrating all of these quotes, and I have quite a clear image of how I'm thinking of illustrating yours, Jack. So
I'm very intrigued.
Very excited about this one. I have my paints ready, and you'll be able to, if you're watching this, you'll be able to purchase sets of these 8 prints or postcards as you know, inspiration, continuing inspiration for yourself, maybe on a desk or your dressing table or your kitchen table or something at home. But you might also want to gift these to another woman in your life as that little inspiration. And 20% of the profits of all of these sales is going directly to Mind, which is a charity that I think is probably one of the charities that needs our support at the moment, because they will be able to reach a much wider audience with these kind of messages through the work that they do. And that was really my inspiration behind this whole project as well. So thank you so much again, Jack, and I will see you again soon.